Hey, it's Kim Komando today, your daily podcast to keep you up to date with all things digital and beyond. And I'd love to have you be a part of our podcast. You can make an appointment to speak with me. Just head over to komando.com, and on the top right, there's a button that says Email Kim. Fill that out, and that's it. All right, not everyone likes Siri. I mean, you can change Siri to whatever you want the voice to be. I have a male voice with a British accent. Oh, it makes me just feel like I have a butler. But I think I'd like other options. Could you imagine if you could have like a New Yorker Siri? She'd say, "What's the matter with you?" I mean, that would be good. Or how about the existentialism Siri? What exactly did you mean by that? Tell me. Or the positive affirmation sandwich Siri, this would be good. "You are so amazing. You are perfect. You are beautiful. And I love you. And how can I help you?" I don't know. Siri kept calling me Shirley this morning. I was beginning to get really annoyed about it, but then I realized it was actually my fault. I left my phone in airplane mode. And you see, ladies and gentlemen and boys and girls of all ages, an example of all the fun that we have here week after week as we talk about living the best digital life ever. It's America's largest show about all things digital, your most trusted source. It's called The Kim Komando Show because, after all, I'm America's digital pro, Kim Komando, here with you once again. And you can catch The Kim Komando Show on over 425 top stations across the United States. And, of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app. And you can find us streaming as a podcast, as a webcast, all 3 hours. And we even have all the archives there over at getkim.com. Once again, that address is getkim.com. And I'd like to say a special thank you to all of our listeners, 375,000 American servicemen and women in 175 countries and 200 ships at sea that get the Kim Komando Show on the American Forces Network Radio. And of course, you have at least a few questions about something digital I can lend a hand to. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. All right, let's start with 5 things that you need to know about tech. It's happening right now. And about the Uvalde school shooting. I mean, think about this. I am stunned. I am shocked that the whole focus is entirely on guns and nothing really about social media's role in this tragedy. Let's think back a little bit. Every mass shooter posts warning messages on social media. But social media, they're never held accountable for some reason. With their huge profits, all of them can develop algorithms that instantly detect violent and dangerous posts. But why won't they do this? What's the holdup? I mean, they have billions in dollars of profits every quarter. But maybe this is it. You're so smart. Current federal law exempts them from responsibility. So no matter what's posted, they like it that way. But a change is simple. What if we legally classify social media as a common carrier, like a phone company? In telecommunications, carriers, they provide communication services to the public. That's what social media does too, right? And if any harm is traced back to the carrier, the injured parties can sue. The government can file charges. And until we do this, social media will continue to be a large part of these tragedies with no consequences at all, not even a slap of the hand. That's another tragedy in and of itself, which leads us to number 2 in our list of 5 things that you need to know, a lesson in a lawsuit. I want you to think back to social media's impact in the fall. Facebook specifically, those Facebook papers. Well, big news happened when this whole treasure chest of internal Facebook, now Meta research documents leaked, showing that Facebook knew Instagram was worsening body image and causing mental health issues among teenage girls in particular. They were targeting girls with specific content. Meta knew that teenagers suffered, they say, from anxiety, sadness, and eating issues when on Instagram. But you know what? Meta didn't care. Facebook didn't care. They just fed them more content and posts that would add to the anxiety, add to thoughts of suicide, add to eating disorders. I'm not sure what's going to come of this, but the first lawsuit was filed because of a preteen girl's, they say, addictive use of Instagram. At 12 years old, Alexis Spence drew a picture of herself, listen to this, how sad, crying on the floor next to her phone with the words, "Stupid, ugly, fat" on the screen. And in a thought bubble, "Kill yourself." By the time she was 15, she was receiving emergency psychiatric treatment for anorexia, purging, suicidal thoughts. She's 19 years old now, and with her parents, they're suing Facebook. That's right. They are suing Facebook. It's the first time a lawsuit has been filed since all these research papers came out. Now, a few takeaways from this. Okay. I'm sorry that Alexis had all these problems. I truly am. But number one, parents, you have to watch your kids online. Number two, parents, you need to take away social media. If there's any issues, you need to take it away. Number three, parents need to be a parent. Right. Being on the internet using Instagram is not a rite of passage. It's not. It's a privilege to those kids who can handle it. And I'm sorry that Alexis is still having issues because, big tech, they don't care. And they're probably going to pay her some money. But you have to know that big tech is not going to raise your kids. If the kids are having trouble on social media, the government doesn't care. Okay, nobody cares. So it's up to you to get involved. And that's it. Which brings me to number three, Sheryl Sandberg. Last week, Sheryl Sandberg is Facebook's chief operating officer. Okay. That is a major position in a corporation, the chief operating officer. She said she quit. She's, quote unquote, burned out. But like most statements, anything regarding Facebook, it's misleading, isn't it? She didn't quit. She bolted out the door. When Sandberg joined Facebook back in 2008, Mark Zuckerberg was just a kid who didn't finish college and never had a job. His mantra was, he says this, move fast and break things. And so Sheryl Sandberg came in and said, you know what, I'm going to be the adult in the room. Okay, she's about 12 to 15 years older than Mark Zuckerberg. But she was neck deep in Cambridge Analytica, the Facebook papers. She mishandled the whole Russian disinformation stories. She failed to stop the suicides, the beatings, the killings on Facebook. And all the while she's the chief operating officer, by the way, of a major public company, she's selling almost all of her shares of stock. Can you guess how much money? How many shares she sold? Anybody? $1.7 billion worth, which isn't done unless the company's chief operating officer of operations, right? 78,000 employees. She just no longer believes in the company. Why would she sell the company? She'd want the stock to go up and make more money for her, would she not? Or maybe she knows that something really bad is on the way. I bet you that's it. All right, let's move on to number four. You don't have to get dressed for work anymore. If I asked you, I don't know, a couple of years ago, if you ever heard of a site called OnlyFans, you'd probably have a blank stare. And I'm sure many of you have heard of it. I don't know how many of you are actually going there. But it's a huge moneymaker. In case you don't know, OnlyFans is a subscription-based website. It's become really popular since the pandemic. Among a lot of people who lost their jobs, they found that they could make money in other ways. So OnlyFans is it's a site full of sex workers, those new to the business. They charge $10, $15 a month. They strip down, they live stream. And OnlyFans said this past week that they're not seeing a slowdown like other streaming services and sites like Netflix. Okay. OnlyFans just compared itself to Netflix. On what site do you think they did that on? Not a fringe site, CNBC. That's right. I'm not sure I'd compare OnlyFans to Netflix, just saying. A friend of a friend who I know, her daughter posts bikini shots. Mom says no nakeds, just in a bikini. She's hot. She's 21 years old, and she's making about $200,000 a year. Whitney Moser, she's actually said publicly she's 24. She quit her day job, and she's making about $10,000 a month on the site. But once she made $13,000 in a single day by stripping down. You know, I checked out the site. The videos aren't very good. I mean, I'll tell you, many of the videos are just, I'll tell you, overexposed. Thank you. Finally, number 5, before you head to the beach, check your app for Jaws. That's right. When I lived in Maui, there were a few shark avoidance rules. You don't go swimming in the ocean after 4 p.m. There's a rainstorm, you don't go in the water after a few days because of all the debris and dead animals that come off the mountains and right into the oceans. And Maui County has a site where you can see where the sharks are hanging out. And now on the East Coast, you can get an app called Sharktivity. That's right. You can see where the sharks are located. And if you see a shark, you run, I guess, out of the water and get your phone and get in the app and say, I just saw a shark. And then you can run back in and take a photo of the shark because they really would like a photo too. And if there's a shark near you, you get a notification. Hopefully you're bringing your phone into the water when you get that notification. So wherever you're heading this summer to a beach, do a quick search for Shark app, the county. Also do a Google search. Maybe they're just tracking on a website, or maybe the local fire department is posting warnings. Now, there are tech shark repellents, some people say they work. I wouldn't rely on them. But listen to this fun fact, okay? We're all freaked out over sharks, okay? But according to National Geographic, you have a 1 in 218 chance of dying from a fall, right? But a 1 in a 3.7 million chance of being killed by a shark. So go in the ocean. Have some fun. Don't worry about the app. Don't worry about your phone. But let me ask you a question. What does a computer and a shark have in common? They both have megabytes. Yeah, I heard you laugh on that one. Gas prices, yeah, they're still really high up there. I've got some ways to ease that pain at the pump. Oh, I know. People use that phrase way too much. And then coming up, you don't want to miss it in our digital privacy tips, some apps that you must remove from your phone because you may have them there and unbeknownst to you, it's malware and snoopware and all the other badware all rolled into one. So stay right where you are. Coming up, we have all of your phone calls. And of course, you have more of me, Kim Komando. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And if you ever have a question for me you'd like me to answer here on the show, or maybe you want to give us a call, or maybe you want me to answer as a tip on our website, it's really easy to do. Just head over to Komando.com with a K, of course. That's not the Commando. Oh, I know. Oh, Kim Komando, you probably go Commando. Answer is probably yes to that. Sorry. Go to Komando.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there's a link that says Email Kim, and that's where that magic happens. All right, I'm going to give you some tips on lowering gas prices and find the lowest price near you. And how about we start with William in Mobile, Alabama. Hello there, William.
Hey, Kim. How are you doing?
I am great. I'm so glad to hear from you. And how can I help you?
Well, me, like most Americans, is plagued with spam phone calls and spam text messages, 5, 6, 7 a day sometimes. And
Wow.
I've tried some of the apps that are supposed to be really great, top-rated to help block and reduce those robocalls with very limited success. But what I have found, if you Google your name or phone number, it's all over the internet with data brokers, and it's almost impossible to get your information removed. So my question is, I'm thinking that a lot of those spam calls are coming from information garnered from these data brokers, and I'm wondering if there is an app or a website or a service that can be utilized to help get this information off of the internet.
To get your private phone number and data
Yes.
off the internet?
Yes, correct.
In a fail swoop? Oh, William, you believe in rainbows and ponies and unicorns too, don't you?
I do.
No. I wish it was that easy. But here's the deal, is that for every data people search site that pops up, it's like whack-a-mole. You can get it off of there, but then somebody else will have it and somebody else will have it. As a matter of fact, over at Komando.com, every Tuesday, we have called Tuesday now, is no longer Taco Tuesday, William. It's called Opt-Out Tuesday. And with Opt-Out Tuesday, every week we present you with another people search site for you to opt out. So we've done Been Verified, U.S. Search, and I'll tell you, I've been getting like hate mail from the PR people. They're like, Kim Komando, why are you telling people to opt out of our database? Well, because, it's private information. Maybe that would be it.
Yeah.
They don't make it
Exactly.
easy. Some sites you have to fax them. Other people have to email them, and you have to remember that every time that you go online, there's going to be another search site that pops up. And that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. Now, about these spam phone calls and these texts, let me tell you something. You're not that special. Okay. What the robocallers do is that they'll say, let's say the phone number is always like, say it's like 310-555-1212. Okay. So the computers will go to 551212, and then the next one will be 555-1213, 14, 15, 16, 17. So they don't even have to have your phone number and you in order to generate phone calls and to generate text messages, because it's all done by computers in the background. So let's cover two things. One is every Tuesday, go to Komando.com, Opt Out Tuesday, and we'll give you one more website to get out of. And then if you've missed a few, you can go backtrack, and we have them all listed there for you.
Okay, that'll be
Number
great.
two is on on the spam phone calls. Who's your carrier?
Verizon.
Okay, Verizon has a built-in spam filter. It's in their app. And so over inside the Komando community, and so does AT&T, so does T-Mobile, because, the government really started getting down on them, saying, you know what, people are paying for this service, and it's like you're letting junk mail come through. Only it's even worse because it's taking our time more than just going to the mailbox. So the carriers have each of the big carriers, they have their own way for you to stop the spam phone calls, and it has to do with using their app. And it's absolutely free. So I'm going to post those links for Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, and the rest over inside the Komando community. And whenever I say Komando community, that's what it is. It's everybody like-minded listeners here of the show. You go to komando.com/community, and then there's the Q&A forum over on the left-hand side, and that's where I post stuff that I'm talking about. So this way you don't have to search the site and good things like that. So William, thank you so much for your call today, and hopefully, I bet you out of those two tips right there, you're not going to be getting all those text messages and robocalls and junk like. So annoying. All right, still to come this hour, I have 6 signs that your phone has been hacked. And in just a few moments, oh my gosh, a list of apps that you need to remove from your phone. And before we go back to all of your phone calls, I don't know if you've noticed, but when you're on Instagram, Facebook, or really any social media, you're going to start getting targeted ads all over your feed for like fishing lures or cute summer dresses and sandals and candles or whatever else is selling. And these are impulse ads to get you to buy random stuff. And you're buying it directly from China. There's no prime shipping here. So I know that it looks cute and it looks wonderful. And then you go to the site, and then in a couple of weeks, the order will arrive, and they always say, oh, you bought directly from the manufacturer to save good money. These drop shippers are only in it for the buck. You're really not going to find any real quality products there. And in case you want to get a Chrome extension, there's one called Fake Spot. It warns you of any untrustworthy sellers. But the bottom line here is that if it looks pretty shady, it probably is. But the bottom line here is also that when they start showing you these ads, it's probably not the highest quality goods, and then you may not necessarily have really good reviews because they're fake reviews, and just stick to the mainstream sites. All right, back to the phones we go with Judy in Duluth, Georgia. Hi there, Judy.
Hi, Kim.
Welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm a new listener to your show and not a techie by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm truly...
It's all right. I'm here for you.
But I was truly impressed with your knowledge and how you've been able to help so many people with their technical questions. So after our listening to your show last week, I thought that perhaps you might be able to shed some light on a situation my son and I have gotten ourselves into.
Okay.
There was a new ETF site that came on the scene back in October of last year. And my son decided that he was going to give it a try with a test deposit for 7 days to see whether it was really good or not. Now, he had done some screening. He went through, he did some investigation and found that since this was a new site, there were some people that had said they were having some difficulty getting their 7-day deposit with its interest back. But the majority of them said that it took a little while, but it was okay. So he decided to throw a little bit of money in just as a test for the 7 days, and it seemed to be okay. So he called me and he said, Mom, look, this is, you're retired. This might be something you might be interested in. Looks like it's a pretty good deal. I'm going to go ahead and throw some money at it for 6 months, and maybe you might be interested in trying. If you have something that you'd like to invest, go ahead and throw it on it, and let's see what happens. So he put in $15,000 for a 6-month period, and I put in $625 for a 6-month period. And we checked the site every day, and we were seeing how our investment kept growing and growing and growing. It was like
what kind of interest? What kind of interest? Are you? Or you were just going to say that?
No, yeah, I was just going to say.
Was it like a
24,
was it like 20?
25% return?
Which is fabulous.
Which it was.
Which is.
I mean,
which is great. I mean, I have financial managers, and the best they can do is anywhere between 6% and 8%. You get nothing in the bank. Mm-hmm. If we could get 24% on our money, I'd be there all day long.
Right. Well, this is kind of what we thought. And being an ETF, we were trying to figure out how he was getting the money, and we figured what happened, generally speaking, was that people would go to his company and borrow the money, and then they would pay back the money monthly with this high interest rate, and then a portion of that interest rate was what we were getting for our investment as the return on the investment. So we were checking it daily, and up through Christmas, everything was going great. And then in January, all of a sudden, the site went down. And we're thinking, well, maybe they are updating their website.
Always a bad sign, Judy, when the site goes down.
Yeah, we know that now. But it came back up, and it did look differently. So we thought, going, wow, that was a close one. But we couldn't get our money out because it was in for 6 months. So we just kept watching and watching. And every time we went in, it would be there, and then it wouldn't be there. And then we finally got to the point where we went in, and it wasn't there at all. And we were getting this what do you call it? When you could try to get into the site, this thing came up. It said 403 forbidden, NGI, and X.
404, yes.
Yeah, whatever that.
Which means basically it's down, and it's not coming back up.
Okay.
And so what happens when you try to get to the site now?
It's the same thing. And as it turned out, with some research, we found that the company has a new website in addition to the original one. But when you go into that, it comes up. When you put in the address, it comes up. But when you click on anything in it, you get that same 403 forbidden thing.
You know what? You sent me an email.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to say the name of the site on the air.
Okay.
Okay. But it starts with the letter V, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. And I did a bit of research myself, and it was a scam. It was a fake crypto. It looked to me like the whole Bernie Sanders thing. We're going to pay, not Bernie Sanders, the whole pyramid type of scheme, where we're going to take your money and then we're going to loan out this money. We need your money, and then we're going to loan out more money until the end of the day. That there's no more money, or they just vominos and they escape and they go someplace else. They fire up a new website, or they leave the country, or they go on and they do the next scam. So to me, it looks like your son's out the $15,000, you're out the $625. And it goes with the whole thing that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. You're smart. You know that.
Yeah.
Now, this coincides with the whole crash of the cryptocurrency marketplace that happened. So where you had things like Terra, which was a stable coin, it just imploded, and about $40 billion worth of investor funds were just erased. So I don't know if he was part of that. Now, so the question is, what can I do now? Right? What can you do now? Okay. What you can do now is that you go to the Internet Crime Complaint Center, okay? And I'll give you a link to it, and you give the FBI all of the details of what happened. Now, I know what you're thinking, because I thought the same thing. Okay, I'm going to submit a form to the FBI, and nobody's ever going to read it, right? Because why would they care about me, Judith, in Duluth, Georgia? When I had a chance to speak to somebody pretty high up in the FBI, and I asked them that question, and they said, no, Kim. We read every single email, every complaint that comes to us.
Cool.
Because we're looking for trends. And that's how they find these bad guys and gals that are taking people, especially when we start talking about crypto platforms, high interest rates, 24%, that's tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
That's tremendous. There's no way that any establishment could be in business if they were giving out that type of interest rate. So I'm going to post a link to it over at Komando.com inside the community. If you want to Google it, it's called the Internet Crime Complaint Center. It's ic3.gov, I believe is the address. That's ic3.gov. And you fill out that form and you give a complaint and somebody will actually read it. And, if you want to do something else, is that you can fire up a website yourself about this and tell everybody what happened, using the name of the platform and encouraging them to help you contact the FBI. And because the more complaints that the FBI will get about this particular platform, the more likely they are to go after everybody that may have been involved in it. And, who knows, maybe actually throw these miscreants in jail. Judy, thank you so much for your call. All right, let me tell you, there are some apps that you may have on your phone that you said, well, these are great apps, and maybe you used them for a little bit, and then you stopped. You don't even know that they're there anymore. Maybe you're still using them. So we put together a list of apps that you need to remove from your phone right now. Now, let's start with Android, and then we're going to go to iOS and iPhones. But some of these, it's really hard for me to go into each one to tell on the air, and that's why we have it written out for you over on the website. But ES File Explorer is one. It's fallen by the wayside. It's bloatware, gives you endless ads. The Dolphin web browser, which was supported by Flash and ends up that your browser settings get there. Battery Saver and Fast Charge DU. It had really good reviews, 7.6 million 5-star reviews. But then it didn't really do that anymore. It put ads on users' lock screens. Super VPN, free VPN client. Free VPN is a nightmare. SMTH, this was in a string called Send Me to Heaven. You have the app, you throw your phone up in the air, and then it drops, and then your phone breaks. But supposedly it was supposed to save your phone. I'm not sure. And then there's more. iPhone bad apps. We're talking about Words with Friends, Cam Scanner. It contains hidden Joker malware. A BetterNet VPN, Yandex was a Russian web browser. Chicken Shoot, Galaxy Invaders. We have 13 other games that you need to make sure of. So, if you don't do anything right now other than go to Komando.com and then look at the link that says Kim Show, and then you'll find the link to all these bad apps that you need to remove from your phone or else, right? It's bad stuff. Hey, still to come, we have 6 signs that your phone has been hacked here on the Kim Komando Show, and more of your phone calls you don't want to miss. Hey, let's talk about your home for just a bit. It's your biggest investment, right? And here are 5 ways to boost your home's value, starting at number 1, the kitchen, right? The center of the entire home. And if you don't have a budget to have a complete renovation, small upgrades like new countertops or cabinets can make a difference. Number 2 is outdoor living spaces. For every dollar that you spend here, research says that you're going to get back $1.75. So a new patio, dining area, a fire pit, hey, maybe even a pool or a spa. You could power wash the patio, refinish the deck, or add a new coat of paint, make it beautiful. With so many people working from home, they're hanging out in their backyards. Number 3 are bathrooms. Yes, the master bathroom's great, but keep in mind sinks, tub, maybe add a steam shower. It's nice. Number 4 is curb appeal, because so many people are house looking and house shopping and researching online, is that your home has to look great in photos and videos. Less is more. Grass, I want it green, manicured. Trees are trimmed, pathways nice, pavers, AstroTurf for the driveway. I just hired a contractor on Angie to do that for us. Finally, number 5, paint the house outside and inside. The flowery wallpaper, it needs to be gone. And white is good. Everything should be white and bright. Now, I know what you're thinking, Kim, how do I find someone who can do this work for me, who I really trust? It's simple. Use Angie. Angie will connect you with real professionals. You don't have to scour the web for reputable sources. With Angie, you can search real customer reviews, request quotes, and book your home improvement projects all in one place. I put a request out for weekly landscaping services on Angie, and literally within 10 minutes, I had 5 different companies ready to bid on what I needed. I'm using Angie right now to refinish a pool, too, and I'm getting 3 bids this weekend on that. You can't beat Angie. It's the best. Whether it's lawn care, fixing the AC, putting in a pool, tackling the dream project, Angie is the trusted home improvement source that can truly help. Home projects have never been so simple. Don't wait. do what I did. Download the free Angie app for your iOS or Android device, or go to the website, Angie.com. You're going to love Angie. That's Angie.com. All right, Hunter in Mount Dora, Florida. Hi there, Hunter.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for letting me on the show. I'm a big fan.
You bet. Well, thank you. What's going on? How can I help you out?
Okay, so I just recently graduated high school, and I plan to enroll in college. Well, I'm already enrolled for the fall semester. And the problem is
Awesome.
I need a good computer. So I have a 7-year-old HP laptop that has no chance of working in college. And so I started to study and research not the new, but the old M1 MacBook Airs.
Sure, they're beautiful.
And so I started filling out scholarships, working jobs, trying to save up money so I can get one. But with the release of the M2, I wanted to know your opinion on which would be the better one to get.
Well, they just announced the M2 this past week at the WWDC, the Worldwide Development Conference from Apple. I'm going to be talking about that in the next hour. But anytime a new version is out, there's always going to be improvements. And is this a black and white, totally different improvement? No. But M2, it has squared off side, rounded edges. It's 2.7 pounds. It's just 1.1 pound lighter, by the way, of the M1 MacBook. It has been widened to 13.6 inches versus 13.3. They say that the M2 chip is 1.4 times faster than the M1, and you get 18 hours of battery life. Okay, so bottom line is that for an extra $200, and that's what it is, for an extra $200, you're going to get the M2 over the M1, which is the latest and greatest version. And I know it's hard because you may be able to get the M1 on a discount, but if it's brand new and you're a guy that's going to hold on to this for a while, I mean, 7 years is a long time on an HP laptop, that you definitely want to get the M2 and don't mess around with the M1. And I'm proud of you, Hunter, for keeping that HP for so long, but it's time to make it a doorstop. I'm sorry about that. You may be able to bring new life into it. I don't know if you want to check this out either, Hunter, is that there's Chrome Flex is an OS that can breathe new life into old technology. So if you want to try it, it's a version of Chrome that can probably run on that HP. It's not going to let you do video games or anything like that, but it will allow you to, use the web and Google Drive and all that other good stuff. And it's called Chrome Flex. And we've got a lot of steps over on the website on how to use it and how to install it and all that great stuff. And congratulations on going to college. That's really awesome. All right, you ever had that feeling that your phone has been hacked? Someone is tracking where you go, what you do, your text messages, your photos, your videos that you take. Well, there are signs that your phone has been hacked, starting with, your phone's battery is draining faster than usual. Snooping apps run in the background, consuming battery life, and can also cause, number 2, your phone is hot to the touch, even as though you were using it, but you weren't. Number 3, your data usage just drops dramatically, but you haven't been streaming any videos or playing games or downloading any new apps. Number 4, your phone is just acting strangely. You're getting pop-up ads and text messages are not going through. Your phone will just reboot for no reason. You're like, what's going on with that? Number 5, this is pretty obvious. You have calls, email, and text messages that you didn't make or send. And number 6, under your security settings, you have a new facial ID alternate sign-in, maybe even additional passcode. So all this is really bad news. What can you do? It's time to put the phone into a factory reset. Hey, you want to stay right where you are? We have another hour coming up that you never want to miss here on the West Star Multimedia Network. And don't forget, you can always catch us as a podcast over at getkim.com. You got me. It's Kim Komando today, and I'm here with you just the facts and tips you need to thrive in our digital world. Or, as I like to say, to live the best digital life ever.